Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the back of my room. Welcome back to my drawers. In today's video we are going to be decluttering eyeshadow palettes. I have a whole series. I've been going through my whole makeup collection and decluttering it, trying to streamline it a little bit, but also failing quite badly at doing that. I will leave my playlist linked up above as well as the other videos that I have. This is part 5. So if you like declutter content, if you like declutter with me makeup collection content, this is the channel for you and this is the video for you if you like decluttering eyeshadow palettes. But let's just get on into it because this video is going to be incredibly long. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, press the hype button and subscribe if you haven't already. Hi, my name is Millie. I post affordable and cruelty-free makeup reviews here. And like I say, I love an eyeshadow palette. There's lots of eyeshadow palette reviews on this channel as well. And I'm trying to get to 5k before my birthday in January. I would love to have you as part of our little family here. But let's not ramble. Let's get on into it. Eyeshadow palette declutter. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with the few that I have on the top here, as well as the ones that I have in my storage display thing at the back here, because these are the ones that I've been testing most recently, and I'm not decluttering any of these. I'm under absolutely no illusion that I'm going to declutter a lot in this section, not as much as the other ones, but let's just get on into it anyway. So we have got the Essence Alice in Wonderland eyeshadow palette. I was really surprised by this. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed Essence eyeshadow palettes historically, but this one is lovely. Really like that. Obviously keeping the Cosmic Beauty Starlight Society. This was their Christmas release, or they brought out that Till Death one, but I didn't get that. This is the nearest to Christmas that I have got, and it is a beautiful colour story. Obviously we've got duochromes, multichromes, beautiful shades in that one. Absolutely keeping. Then we have the Simply Posh Cosmetics Gingerbread Bakery palette. I actually saw, now who was it? Angelica Nyquist, I think, say that this isn't the quality that she has experienced from Simply Posh previously. So I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the quality of this. So I don't know if I should have been expecting more from Simply Posh. I very much enjoyed it. It is definitely a sugary, sweet colour story. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers. Obviously some of these are like shifty multichromes as well. I love the warmer tones down at this end. I love that it's magnetic as well. Obviously I love the packaging, the theming, really pretty. Love that one. And then this is the one that I have on my eyes today. I am in the process of filming a 3 looks with video with this one. You can use the code Millie15 to get 15% off anything from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. That is an affiliated code. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I am using this one quite a lot recently, obviously because it is very Christmassy, very shifty, really beautiful shades. I have been using Yuletide a ton, as well as Candy Kiss. Honestly, some of these are some of my favourite shades that I've been trying out recently. Really have been enjoying that one. And then at the back here are just a few more that I've been using a lot recently. The Bella Beauty Bar Dark Dreamscape palette. Love this one. I did a video recently where I was comparing this one to the Ocean Jewel, so if you want to see that I will try and remember to leave it linked. But quite similar colour story, but also quite different. Ocean Jewel definitely leans darker, where Dark Dreamscape has more mid-tones and like brighter shimmers. So the colour stories are similar, but I do feel like they work together beautifully. Absolutely keeping both of those. I do also have the new one. Now, what's it called? Oh, I only ordered it like 12 hours ago. The new one, Crystallize, is that what it's called? I've got that one coming. Then these two are both magnetic palettes, and these have my Pastel Roses collection in them. So obviously all of these are like either shimmers, duochromes or multichromes. I really got into these in a very, very big way, so I ended up having to get 2 palettes, and I am wanting to do more like build your own palettes in the new year, so those will come in handy for that. Obviously not getting rid of that. This was one of my favourite palettes from last year. This is the Blend Bunny and Robert Welsh Divination palette. This is like my perfect sort of rainbow palette, but not the whole rainbow, just parts of the rainbow. I absolutely love this. I love the way that it's laid out. I love the colour selection. I love that you've got the lighter shimmers and the darker shimmers. This just feels very easy to use for me, because you can just go along a row or you can sort of jump around. I love the layout of this, and I just find this colour story very, very inspiring. Again, some of the shades are like shifty and some of them are just regular shimmers. The mattes are fantastic. Really, really enjoy that one. Then we have the Blend Bunny Sugar and Spite palette. This is the one that originally came out and was called Sugar and Grunge, and then they had to re-release it because somebody said that they weren't allowed to use the word grunge, which is just absolutely crazy. This definitely feels more like a spring palette to me. I think it originally, as Sugar and Grunge, I think it originally came out in spring. But not one that I have played with a ton, but one that I am very, very excited to dive into more next year. I love the layout of this, again, because it's more in like quads. Again, I do still find this quite easy to use, even though it's not in the regular sort of gradient layout, but I do still find it very, very inspiring, like to look at and to use, and one that I'm looking forward to diving into more in the spring. And then we have one of the sampler palettes. This is Energy, so this is the one that's like pumpkin spice, all of the autumnal feels, and again, one that I'm very much looking forward to diving into more when I do more build my own palette sort of content, because I love these warm tones. The quality of these is absolutely fantastic, especially when you consider that these palettes are £12. I have 3 of them. I actually don't even know where the other ones are, to be completely fair with you, but I do have more than just this one. The quality is fantastic. They're not like special shades, they are just like regular shimmers, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just like telling you straight, the shimmers are just shimmers rather than duochromes, multichromes, that sort of thing. But I love the selection of colours in this. I love the warm tones with the purples and the greens. Very, very inspiring to me for this time of year. So let me pop these away and I will bring another pile of palettes over. So I have a few palettes here from P. Louise. I do enjoy these, but I'm not as much into collecting P. Louise anymore. Honestly, I find them, like, obviously the larger ones are very difficult to store, like the huge ones, but I do like these little mini ones that she does. So this is the Stack 'em Up Purple toned eyeshadow palette, and these are a beautiful, beautiful quality. Then we have the You Give Me Butterflies, and this is greens, more like minty toned, quite light pastel-y greens. Really like that one, keeping that. I think I will get rid of this one, however, though, because I don't think I have ever used it. Yes, I don't think I've ever used this one. So this is the Fall in Love with P. Louise palette. Is this meant to be a blush palette? Got me falling deeply. I don't know. Is this meant to be blush or is this meant to be eyeshadow? Who is to say? I do not know, but I haven't used it. I will declutter that one. And like I say, I don't think this has ever been used, so I might see if one of my friends wants this. Seems a shame to just, you know, not throw it away. I was about to say throw it away. I don't throw things away. They go on the Boots recycling scheme and I pay for Christmas with my declutters. So this one can go to a friend, I feel. It's not worth getting rid of this one because it hasn't been used. And then lastly, the massive one, this, oh, it's not even in shot, there we go. This is the What If You Fly palette for face, eye and face. This did at some point like light up. I can't remember how you did it. It might still have to have batteries in it, but this is like a rainbow palette, and I do like the idea of this, but honestly it's just huge and so heavy, but I do enjoy it, and the quality of the eyeshadows is actually really nice, but it's just like very inconvenient to actually store. It is like an actual encyclopedia, like it's huge and it's heavy. Like, I don't know how I can describe it to you. It's heavy, but I do like the palette, so I think I will keep it for now. It's not one that I reach for a ton, honestly, because even having this out on my table is like inconvenient, but I'll keep it for now. I'll keep it for now. And then we have my whole Cosmic brushes collection. So, oh, this one on the bottom isn't Cosmic brushes. Let's talk about this one first. This is the Beauty Moon Cosmetics Medusa palette. Oh, there we go, get into it. Really lovely selection of like greens and purples. Leans very dark, very sort of smoky. I do really like the colour story though, and it is one that I will reach for more in like autumn time. It's not really a wintry palette to me, but I do very much enjoy it. The colour is coming off the front though, and I don't know why. It didn't look like that when I got it. It was like all foiled and pretty, but not one that I reach for a ton at this time of year, but definitely will do in autumn next year. So keeping that one. Then Cosmic Beauty, we have got, I'm not getting rid of any of these because I'm a collector, and I haven't gotten there's two this year that I haven't got from Cosmic, Smolder and Till Death, because the colour stories just weren't my vibe. I got messages asking if I would review them, and honestly I'm at the stage in my collection now where I'm like, if it doesn't instantly spark creative inspiration in me, I'm not gonna spend my own money on it. I'm not gonna have it in my collection. But saying that, I do love the ones that I have from Cosmic. So we have got Nude Trolls, which is all of the beautiful warm tones that you could ever need. If you haven't tried Cosmic before, their matte formula is fantastic. The duochromes and like special shades that they have in these are incredible. Cosmic was the brand that really made me fall in love with indie brands. It was the first indie brand that I ever tried, and like, look at me now. Look at all of the palettes that I have now and all of the brands that I have explored, because Cosmic opened my eyes to the possibility of indie brands, and I just love them. So that was Neutrals. Then we have got Undergrowth, which is all of the greens. I love the pop of like the brighter, like a lime green and a mint. Again, beautiful and warm. All of the beautiful like golden tones, really love that one. And then Muse, which I feel like is brighter. Like, you would look at the outside and think that that was more like muted, more neutral, more like cool toned versions of the colours, but I do feel like it is bright. It is slightly more cool toned. Obviously you've got like the greys, you've got a few that are more sort of desaturated, but most of these are like very pigmented, very bright colours. Again, the formula of these is just absolutely fantastic. I love. So then I have this bag here, which also has Cosmic in it. Let me wrestle these out without dropping them on the floor. So the only one that I have that is a smaller palette from Cosmic, this is the Gothic, so it's the deep purples. I really like this size. I actually want them to bring out more in this size. I know a lot of people feel very passionately about the 20 pans, but I really like the 12. I think that it's a beautiful, more convenient size, especially if you're doing any sort of travelling or anything. but I really, really love the colour story of that one. Then this is Sinister. This is the one that they brought out for the Halloween release last year. Not necessarily my colour story. I do like the pastel purple, I like the pinks, but I don't really ever reach for reds or greys, and that is like predominantly what this palette is. And this Vaseline shade down on the bottom, that's basically what that shade is, called Ghost. Not one that I ever reach for. I've dipped into that once to swatch it and decided that I would simply cease existing if I put that on my eyeballs. Then we have Cool Trolls, which I feel like if you're wanting a cool toned palette that still has the possibility of colour, I feel like this is a really great one. Obviously you've got the blues, you've got the purples, you've got pinks and greys, but I do feel like this is still quite a colourful palette if you are wanting to get into that. Again, these cool tones aren't really what I go for, but as far as cool tone palettes go, this honestly is probably one of my favourite ones because it has the possibility of all of those colours. Then I'm actually wanting to do, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to filming it, but I'm wanting to do at some point a roundup of my favourite eyeshadow palettes for wintertime and Christmas, and obviously this is going to be the star of the show, Winter Wonderland. Look at her. Look at her. I don't even really like blues, but there's something about the tones of these. Obviously it's got like the teals and the purples as well, so that's like what I'm drawn to. This bottom row I could personally do without it because I don't really like blues, but these teals and the purples are just delicious to me. And obviously this colour story is so beautifully wintry. Then this was another one of my palettes from that was like ranked incredibly high. I think that this was #1 jointly with the Robert Welsh palette for last year. This is the Cosmic 'Tis the Season. Look at her, she's like a box of Quality Street. She is all of the colours that I love. This feels very inspiring for Christmas to me. It feels like a vintage, classic sort of 90s Christmas decoration, and I just absolutely love that. Candlelight is absolutely incredible. Fairy lights, tinsel, honestly, the shifts in these are just beautiful, and I love her. Obviously she's warmer, she's got the warm tones, and it makes my mouth water. It just makes me think of chocolates that I'm allergic to and I can't even eat. Then at the start of this year I started to do a Pan That Palette series. I dropped off that real quick. I knew I would, I shouldn't have done it. This is the palette that I picked for that. So this is the Cosmic Beauty Serenity palette. I made real good progress on it, definitely out of my whole makeup like eyeshadow collection. This is the one that has the most use. I have a pan in this one. I'm very close to hitting pan on Oasis. Again, it's got those warm, colourful tones, but also if you wanted to do something more neutral, you absolutely could. I think that this is absolutely beautiful, and this shade down at the bottom called Ether all over the lid is just incredible. I absolutely love her. And then lastly, for the Cosmic palettes, we have got The Lovers, which was the Valentine's like spring release from earlier this year. Again, more muted, more desaturated, a little bit more cool toned, but like you could still absolutely warm it up. This is a palette of like 2 halves, so you've got like the pinks and the browns and then the greens and the blues over at that side, which I really appreciate that layout. I definitely live more in this side, although I do like the sort of tealy shades. For me, I always felt like the shimmers in here felt quite deep for my skin tone. I mean, obviously I am Casper the Ghost. I appreciate that these shimmers will look beautiful on lots of people, but there really are only like a few shimmers that I feel like I could use all over the lid in the way that I sort of like to do my makeup. So when I first saw this, I was very inspired by it, but I actually found it quite difficult to use just for an everyday sort of a thing. But I do still think that it's beautiful, and I do definitely appreciate the beautiful shifty shades that do work for my skin tone. So keeping all of the Cosmic palettes. Of course, I knew I would. Okay, so we have got all of the limited edition Beauty Bay palettes over here, but let's start with the 42 pans. I have nearly all of them. I think there's a few that I'm missing, but I am a collector of these, okay? So I am going to be keeping them even if they're not like my tip-top favourites, you know. So we have got the Midnight palette. All of these I have in the 42 pans. So this is obviously the blues and the purples. I definitely live more in the purples than the blues, but keeping anyway. Then we have got the Fiery 2.0. Did they ever do a Fiery 1.0? Or am I like losing my mind? This is obviously all of the beautiful warm tones, all of the oranges, yellows and reds. I definitely live in the top half of this palette. I do love the like mustardy shades as well. I don't really dip into the reds a ton, but love the, again, like the gradient of this one feels very inspiring to me. Then we have got Earthy, which is all of the greens and the warmer brown tones. Again, I like that this goes from very, very light to very, very dark. Obviously, if you get the 42 pans, you're not missing out on any of the possibilities. You have every single shade that you could ever need in a selected colour selection, you know. So again, I feel very, very inspired by these. I love green. I love green. Then we have got Rich, which I have actually picked once or twice for if I was getting married this year. This is the makeup that I would pick. I have picked this at least once, maybe twice. I love these warmer, sort of reddy toned browns, beautiful warm tones. Again, goes from very, very light to very, very dark, but I feel like this has more mid tones than some of the other more neutral ones that are coming up. This one does lean a little bit darker, but I love the tones in this. Then we have got Smoky, which, as you can see, hasn't been used a ton because I'm not the biggest fan of cool tones, but honestly, if I want a cool tone, I know that I can dive into this. I do appreciate the different variants upon cool tones. So there's some that are a little bit more purpley, some that are more brown, some that are more blue, but all very much grey, smoky palette, which isn't where I necessarily like to live, but keeping nonetheless because whole collection collector mentality. Then we have got Nude, which again hasn't been used a ton, but I know if I ever need a nude shade, I can dive into this one. This has got a row of cool tones along the bottom, which I don't think I have ever used a single one of those, but if you're wanting a nude sort of brown toned smoky eye, this has got you covered. So pretty. I did a look in October where I used more of these like bronzy shades, and I really liked how it turned it out. So big fan of that, even though I haven't used it a ton, but I appreciate that it's there should I ever need it. Then, oh me, it's falling over here, but never mind. Then we have got Berries. I don't know if they make this one anymore. Honestly, I can't remember. All of the pinks and purples, reds, all of the sugary sweet pink tones. Again, everything from the lightest to the darkest, all of the undertones. Really like that one. Then we have got Bright 2.0, which I think out of all of my 42 pan palettes, this is my favourite one because I just feel like for everything that I need, this palette has it. It has a row of neutrals. Like, I would consider this top row neutrals as well, just for how I like to do my makeup, being real nice and warm. But I would consider this an essential palette. This is, I would say, potentially my favourite rainbow palette. I really like this. I actually prefer Bright 2.0 over Bright, just because I prefer the undertones of the shades in Bright 2.0. I do believe I have a video. I have a whole playlist just for Beauty Bay palettes and Beauty Bay products. I will leave it linked. But I do believe I did a video where I was comparing Bright and Bright 2.0, if you're wanting to look that up. But this is what Bright looks like. I feel like this is lighter. I feel like this is more, not pastel, it's not as light as pastel, but it's definitely lighter and brighter than Bright 2.0, where Bright 2.0 has more of the like richness and like jewel tones. But still very much enjoy that one for, again, a rainbow palette. Then this is then one of their newest ones, Botanical. So this is, again, greens, browns, warmer tones. You've got a few greys down at the bottom, but really great selection of like one and done green tones, but also with the sort of warmer tones that you can use to blend out. It's also got a few purples down on the bottom row here. Really enjoy that one. And then lastly, we have got Neutral, which is probably my most used neutral palette from Beauty Bay, just because I think this was probably one of the first ones that I got, honestly. Really like these. Again, very sort of basic, everyday, if this is the sort of makeup that you wear every day. It's not the sort of makeup that I wear every day. I wear bright colourful makeup every day, but a great one to have in your collection if you're wanting just one neutral palette to get you through you know, smoky eyes, everyday mattes and shimmers. I do highly recommend this one. Then let's move on to these ones. So we have got, these are all of the limited edition ones. The Metamorphic palette, which I keep seeing people say that they want to come back, and I'm like, it just feels so bland to me. But then I don't love cool tones. I'm keeping it, again, because collector's mentality, but not one that I really ever reach for. Then I want them to bring this back. Specifically, I want them to bring this back and expand it into a 42 pan collection, because these pastel shades are my favourite pastels, and nothing in my collection compares to these. These are absolutely fantastic. Shimmers, mattes. There's no shimmers in here, but they almost have a white base to them, so they pop without having to use any sort of eyeshadow primer. They are absolutely incredible. The formula of these, I haven't been able to match in any other palette that I have had from any brand, but these are just fantastic. A little 8 pan. And they don't make this anymore, and it's a terrible shame. I want them to do a full 42 pan eyeshadow palette, 16 and 9, with this formula and with these colours, because it's absolutely fantastic. Then this was a summer release from a few years ago, but every summer since they have re-released it. So this is the Tropical 16 pan. I actually really enjoy this for autumn, again, because it's got those like warmer tones, and obviously you can do like the most incredible like sunset eye. Obviously these more orange tones and like the pinks up at the top, I love using for blush as well as eyeshadow. I really enjoy this one. Summer as well, but one that I definitely reach for in autumn too, like surprisingly. Then let's talk about the disappointment of the year. And no, I'm not talking about myself. This is the Beauty Bay Dark Lights palette. What is that? Like, politely, what is that? I really dislike it. I am actually going to be doing, again, don't know when I'm going to get around to it, but I'm going to be doing at some point a ranking of every single eyeshadow palette from every single brand that has launched this year, and I can tell you, I think that this will be the worst palette of the year. And like, I love the formula, but what is that colour story? And like, why are there 15 shimmers, 5 mattes, but it's just so strange to me. It's so strange to me, and I've seen so many people say that they really love it, and I'm like, I wish I did. I want to love the Beauty Bay limited edition palettes. I collect them, I get them all. Gotta have them all. This one really disappointed me, really disappointed me. Then we have got the Beauty Bay Reckless Romance. Also really disappointed me. Again, it's the greys and the pinks and the reds, which I don't ever reach for, grey, pink or red, so it was never going to be a palette that I felt incredibly drawn to. But even like looking at this now, this could have been a £16 palette and you wouldn't have been missing out on anything. Like, compare that to this one, which is my favourite Beauty Bay palette they have ever released, Retro Love. Look at that, the saturation, the variety in the tones. You've got your pastels, you've got your mid-tones, and you've got your dark tones. You've got a dark brown, a dark black. You've got all, like, so many different shimmer options. I feel so inspired looking at this. And then you look at the newer palettes that Beauty Bay have come out with, the new limited edition palettes, and I'm like, it just leaves so much to be desired. Because they're not this, basically. This is my favourite palette that Beauty Bay have ever released. Please can we go back to having more fun colour stories? Because obviously the quality is beautiful. I'm not doubting the quality of these palettes. The quality of them is incredible. But the colour stories, for example, are so bland. And this one isn't even necessarily the worst, but this has got 5, 6 shimmers, mattes, sorry, that are all the same. The shimmers are beautiful, like this one up at the top, imagine that. They did start getting into more like duochrome shifty shades, but even so, like, why is there one random mid-toned, cool-toned green when there's nothing else green in the palette? And then a bright fuchsia pink to go with your greige. Like, it just feels very strange to me. Also this one, out of the 20 pan limited edition and the 42 pan, I highly recommend the 42 pan. This one just, again, leaves a lot to be desired. It's not the worst, but are we ranking things on if they are or aren't the worst? No, I just don't. I don't love it, but I'm keeping it anyway. Also, Celestial Charms, why is it so dark? Why is there not a single mid-tone? Why do we have, again, 7 dark purples and no mid-tones, and then 1 token light tone? And all of the shimmers are dark as well. Weird. Then we have got Dark Fantasy, which I actually got on, I think I got it on Vinted, because I got this like years after they released it. So this is an older colour story. This feels more inspiring to me than anything that they have brought out recently, because you've got actual colour that's actually pigmented and that's actually bright. You've got a white, you've got a black. Obviously, I am the biggest fan of greens and purples together, so that's always going to be something that I enjoy. But this feels like a real throwback, because it hasn't been the same since this one and Retro Love. Like, it's just gone downhill so bad. And I also really like the packaging of this. It's like foiled and all pretty. Then we have got Desert Haze, which was this year? I think it was, wasn't it? Warm tones. I don't like this blue. I wish that they hadn't put that blue in there. But again, this shade up at the top, which is called Mirage, is shifty. So it's like green and gold. I like this more. I think if you're looking for a warm tone neutral palette, this is it. Don't be thrown by that blue. Like, if you cover that up, everything else is warm tone neutrals. You've got lighter shades, you've got mid-tones, and you've got deep shades, and the shimmers in this are really, really pretty. And then they re-released this palette, which is Wilderness, which I actually did a video, didn't I, ranking all of my limited edition palettes. And I can't remember if this was number 1 or if Retro Love was number 1. It was either number 1 or number 2. I love, obviously you've got the warmer tones. Even though this has got reds, it really only has these 3, and then the rest are like warmer, sort of orangey tones. I love the mint. I just love, I love because it's warmer tone. You've got a really good selection of mattes and shimmers. Big, big, big fan of that. I'm really glad that they brought this one back. I am personally hoping for Age of Opulence and Book of Magic to come back. If you could work on that, please, Beauty Bay, because they have been re-releasing older limited edition palettes, and that's what I would like, please and thank you. But that is all of my Beauty Bay palettes, so that's everything that's on the cube storage behind me. Oh no, it's not, I'm lying. I'm delirious. So let me move these and I will bring more over. So I have another stack here just of like random ones, but ones that I enjoy and haven't like made it back into my storage. So this is the Made by Mitchell Chrome Cowboy. This is one that they brought out last year. I do believe that this ranked quite high in my 2024 ranking. Really, really like these. They're almost like a putty formula, but they are so shifty. I have so many like studio lights on me, I don't think you're going to be able to see, but they're absolutely beautiful, keeping that. Then we have got the Odin's Eye Sea Talk palette. Honestly, I feel bad saying it, but I didn't really get along with the formula of the Odin's Eye eyeshadows. I felt like a lot of the shimmers went hard pan quite quickly. And like this colour story just feels a little bit strange to me. Not ones that I have been reaching for loads. I mean, the packaging is absolutely insane. Look at that. Beautiful, but like, I don't know, the formula just doesn't feel up to it for me. Then we have got the Odin's Eye. Oh, it's got a hair stuck in it. The Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyquist palettes. This is Hella. Again, I just feel like a lot of the shimmers went very hard pan very, very quickly. The mattes were fine, but they sort of had to be built up quite a lot. I feel like these were very, very hyped and they just didn't really live up to it for me. Again, the packaging is absolutely insane. Like, so beautiful, but I just felt quite let down by the quality. And then lastly, we have got the Little Ghost palette, which out of the 3 I feel the most inspired by, but also like, yeah, a lot of the shimmers went hard pan. The mattes were sort of a bit lackluster. They didn't really do anything for me. Haven't reached for these a ton, and honestly, I have all of these shades so many times over. I'm like, do I keep it just because I paid quite a lot of money for them? Is that a reason to keep something? No. But also, I should probably use them more. I don't want to talk bad about the brand, but like, I was quite let down by the quality of them, honestly. One that I am not let down by. This is MUA. Like, when you consider the price point of this, I think this was £12, and the price point of these, it was probably double, if not more than double, and I prefer the quality of the MUA one. So this is the Kaleidoscope Extra. Again, sort of a rainbow palette, but sort of not. Quite difficult to see with this like reflective background, but beautiful shades. matte, so pigmented. Some of the shimmers do go a little bit hard pan, I will say that. The shimmers aren't my favourite, but the mattes are absolutely incredible. The best matte white shade I have ever used in my life in this palette. It's absolutely incredible. I love. Then, I don't know why this wasn't with my cosmic things, and I don't know why I didn't realise, because again, I love her. She is Delicious Delights. She is beauty. She is grace. She brings me so much joy just looking at it. Again, it is, obviously it's a bright, colourful, fun colour story, but it's sugary sweet. It's incredible. I love her. I'm going to put her back where she belongs with her other Cosmic Beauty friends. Then also from MUA, this is one of my favourite palettes of all time, and it is just a matte neutral palette, but it's so, like, the quality of this is absolutely incredible. So this is the Ultimate Obsession 24 shade nude eyeshadow palette, which is exactly what it is. It is all of the matte nudes that you would ever need. Obviously going right from a white to a black. The gradient across, again, I just feel like very inspiring. Definitely one that I'm going to be digging into when I go into doing more build my own palette sort of content, because these are obviously like magnetic. You can pick the pans out. And honestly, yes, this warm row, this second row down, is where I live at all times, but it's got all of your options. And again, the matte white is just incredible. I love her. Then these are the two other sampler palettes that I have. So this is Neon Grunge. This is the first one that I tried. Obviously, it's got all of the colour, all of the like bright neon, beautiful shades. It does have more cool toned shimmers, more like grey silvery shimmers, but again, really beautiful quality, especially when you consider the price. And then this one is Undone, which is slightly more brown, neutral. Again, you've got a few cool tones up at the top, but more browny, neutral, nudie, everyday shades. I really like this one as well. It's like a shimmer, like a pinky peachy shimmer. Very pretty. Then Morphe. This is the Rich Glitch eyeshadow palette. This is one of the little 6 pans, so you can add water to these two shades in the middle and turn them into like a liquid eyeshadow. These are beautiful. I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely interested in trying more from Morphe, because this was surprising how much I enjoyed it, especially considering it is, you know, a neutral palette, but really enjoyed that one. Then we have got Moira, I'm Falling For You, and I really enjoy the packaging of this, but it is not the easiest to get into. Look at that colour story. And some of these shades are like a little bit shifty. Obviously, the more like warm, neutral shades, and then you've got the like addition of a little bit of pink, a little bit of purple. Really enjoy that one, and the packaging is beautiful, so pretty. And then there's a story behind this one. This is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival The Antidote palette. I have never used this palette. I saw my good friend Cole, she did a video last autumn, so like over a year ago now, speaking about her favourite autumn palettes, and she mentioned this one. I found it on Vinted. It was still all in the cellophane, it was in the box, it was never opened, never used, but it arrived and it was like smashed. So I have always been quite scared to use it because two of the shades are broken, but I do love her, and like I said, I've never used it. I've never even tried it, so I need to, because it is beautiful, and I just need to bite the bullet and either scrape those colours out and just get rid of them, or repress them. Ultimately, I just need to repress them. But really beautiful colour story, and I'm glad that I found it on Vinted. So that really is everything now. of my cubes. I'm going to move you down so that you can see into my drawers. I have 2 drawers for eyeshadow palettes. So we're not even halfway done yet. When I told you this was going to be a long video, I meant it. I hope you have a drink and a snack. Hello and welcome to the floor. Please do not look at this dead plant. I'm aware that she's dead and or dying. I don't need reminding. So in this drawer we have all of my smaller palettes. So these are like quads, 5 pans, littler palettes, and then underneath we have got larger palettes. So we're going to start with the little ones because I've got more of them, and again I don't feel like I'm going to necessarily be getting rid of any of them because hoarder mentality. So let's start with these ones at the back here. These are all Profusion palettes. So we have got Scenic, Lake. These little palettes from Profusion, I feel like the quality of these is fantastic. Really like them. The mattes are fantastic, the shimmers are beautiful. So Scenic, Lake. Then we have got Desert Stargazing, which is more like plummy purpley tones. Then Wild Hot Spring, which is probably one of my favourite ones because obviously it's got that beautiful teal as well as the warm browns. Then we have got Mountain Trail. So this again has got the teal, but this one is leaning more purple and a little bit darker leaning. Then we've got a few more that are the Explorer ones. So we have the Wilderness Explorer, which is the greens, again sort of cool tone and warm tone greens. I really like the selection in that one. And then this is probably my favourite one out of the like travel ones, you know what I mean. This is Canyon Oasis. And I just love these warmer tones. I love the mustard. This orange you can use very lightly as a blush. I love. And then the other 3 that I have are the floral ones. So we have got Terrific Tulip. That shade in the middle is the chunkiest like glitter gel. Really beautiful. Then we have got Romantic Rose, which again I really like even though it's reds and pinks. And again that shade in the middle is like holographic pink. Beautiful. And then Delightful Dahlia, which is blue and purple. And again that shade in the middle there is a beautiful chunky teal glitter. I will say that the formula in these 5 pans are fantastic. The larger palettes are more hit and miss, but these little ones are beautiful. The ones that are the floral, they have the chunkier glitter as the centre shade, but in these Traveller ones, the centre shade is more just like a regular sort of shimmer satin formula, not like incredibly chunky. Then we've got nearly all of the MUA 5 pans. So we've got Neutral Wanderlust, which is a neutral palette. A lot of these are sort of leaning more neutral. Then we have got Wilderness, which has that beautiful pop of green. Then Desert Bloom. Beautiful, again neutrally, a little bit more pink leaning. Then we have got Enchantment, which has more of a silver shimmer, a little bit more cool toned. Then we have Utopia. This is probably my favourite one. My favourite one so far. What have we got to come? I can't remember. Because this shade at the end is almost duochromy. It's really pretty. Oh no, I do like Amber Sunset. Obviously it's the warm tones, really pretty. Then we have Andromeda Skies, which is so deep and so smoky, and just all of the deep smoky tones that you could possibly need. And then Desert Bloom, which is more pinky neutrals, beautiful shimmers. I highly, highly recommend the MUA formula, whether it be in a little 5-pan or one of the larger palettes. I just love the MUA formula. I do also have these two palettes, which are both MUA. So this is Kaleidoscopic, which is not exactly the same as the larger one that I mentioned before. Similar. Do I need both? Yes. Then we've got Firestorm, which is all of the warm brown tones. I mean, if you take out that bright orange shade, it is just a neutral palette. Beautiful formula again, really like those. I will at some point like empty all of this and hoover it and wipe it and stuff. That's not happening today. This one is also MUA. This is Cherry Kiss. This is one of the ones that they brought out for autumn. I like it. It's not my favourite one that MUA have ever released. Then we've got two from Troublemaker. The Genius palette is all mattes, so all of the like colourful options, little 6-pan palette, really like that one. And then Love Notes, this was one of the palettes that I picked for if I was getting married this year. This is the makeup that I would wear, because this shade over at the end called Always is the most beautiful, very chunky, reflective, nudie, slightly pink toned shimmer that I would just put all over my eyelid if I was getting married this year. Already very happily married, but if I was getting married this year, that is the palette that I chose back in September. Then I have got 3 of these little palettes from I Heart Revolution. I don't know if they make these anymore, but I love them. The formula in these is incredible. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes are so pigmented, and I love the colour story of these. So we have got Raspberry Fool, which is more pink toned. Beautiful, beautiful. This one is probably my favourite. This is Chocolate Fudge. That shade in the middle is shifty and just beautiful. Obviously it's warm tones. And then we have got White Vanilla Cream. And again, that shade in the middle is so shifty and just beautiful, and you wouldn't expect that necessarily from I Heart Revolution, like so affordable. And I don't get on very well with Revolution palettes. You'll see when I get down to the next drawer, I am planning on decluttering quite a few, but these are beautiful. I can't get rid of those. Then I'm having to like lean over. I can't actually see from where I am. This is the Technic Gothica. This is the Wicked. Let me get into that. So obviously I haven't used this one. It's like that Vaseline texture I'm just not sure about. But the other shades are beautiful. The shimmer is incredible. This like blinding bright shimmer. It's got a little bit of a pink shift to it. Beautiful, beautiful formula. Very impressed with that one. And then I do believe the rest of these are all the little e.l.f. bite-size palettes. So let's get into these. Something in here is broken and now I am covered in brown eyeshadow, but that's fine. So, oh, it's this one. That was quick. This is I Love You a Latte. So this is all of the matte neutral shades that you could ever need. Great if you're going on holiday or something, you can just throw that in your bag. And I think that these are like £4, if they even make them anymore. Honestly, I've had these for so long. Then this one, I don't even have to look. Hot Jalapeno, all of the beautiful greens. Then Orange Dreamsicle. This feels very like wishy-washy to me. Honestly, I don't use it a ton because like the darkest shade is the shade of my skin, but collector's mentality, let me have it. I really like these little ones that they brought out. Was it 2 years ago? Was it more than that? This is the Good Vibes Only Hey Sunshine. Obviously it's got the like beautiful mustardy shade. Then also from that collection is Psychedelic Dreams. Yes, Psychedelic Dreams. Beautiful deep teal and the green shimmer, but still with the orange, like the warm undertones. Really like that one. And then let's just skip over the other ones that I have. So this one is Truffles. Probably one of my most used ones because the shimmer is beautiful just all over the lid, but you can also go nice and deep and dark with the other shades. Then we have got Acai You with the like sort of periwinkle lilac-y purpley shades. Then we have got Carnival Candy, which again feels a little bit weird, like the colour selection feels a bit strange because this shade down at the end is a blue shimmer with like the warm mattes. Feels a little bit weird, but keeping. Anyway, then we have Rose Water, which is more like a desaturated pinky purpley colour selection. Then Cream and Sugar. The two shades in the middle are shimmers, so you've got like two options there for what sort of tone you want to go for the shimmer, and you can also deepen it up with that darker shade. Then we have Berry Bad, which obviously is all of the berry tones. Beautiful, beautiful. And then this one, lastly, is Pumpkin Pie. Oh, I don't know, I do use this one quite a bit as well, because obviously I just love the warmer tones. So that is everything. I am covered, and so is my drawer, but that's fine. Let me just lay these down actually, because that's not going to end well having those stacked up like that. So that is that whole drawer. I know it's a lot, I'm aware, but I'm going to try and declutter some from the next drawer down. This is more a collection tour than a declutter, because I was never really planning on decluttering a ton, but that is all of my little eyeshadow palettes. And then we have got the larger palettes, and I am thinking I'm going to declutter some in here because I have had these tin ones from Revolution for a very, very long time, and I just don't think that the quality of these is great anymore compared to other palettes that I have in my collection. So these are the Forever Flawless like tin packaging. So we have got Allure, which is the neutral one. Like, yeah, it's pretty, but I don't ever reach for it. I don't reach for any of these Revolution ones, so I can get rid of that one. Then we have got Chilled, which is greens and golds. Again, I just don't really reach for it. And then this one is Constellation, which is brighter. It's got more brighter colours. But again, it's just not really... I mean, I could not tell you. I don't think I have reached for it this year. I don't know if I reached for it the year before. It has been so long, and it's not one that gets the love in my collection, so it can go. Then, what else have we got from Revolution? We have got this one, which is the new neutral. Again, I just don't feel like... Let's do the Marie Kondo, Does It Bring Me Joy? No. You can go. Then, this one is also Revolution, but I'm keeping it because it's Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka, I feel like it's a Christmas film because it's snowing. In part of it, it's snowing. Is it? I'm making that up. I always watch this at Christmas. It's one of my favourite films. I absolutely love it. Does the colour story bring me joy? Not necessarily. Does the packaging? Yes, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. Then, oh, we've got another P. Louise one. I can get rid of this. This is the Babe, We're Bringing the Smoke. It's fine. I've used it maybe a couple of times. I have other neutral palettes that I prefer over this one, so that one can go. I've got a few from Juvia's, which I love, and I don't reach for enough, but I do love them. So this is a Laurie one, which has the oranges and the teals. We've got the mauves by Juvia's, which is more of the purpley tones. And then down here, we have got the sweet pinks, which is all of the like brighter pink tones. And then the warrior, which is all of the neutrals. I do like these. I'm going to keep these ones. Then we have got these ones from Sample Beauty. I really enjoyed this palette, but like Sampler are back now. I was keeping these because they were gone, but now they're back. And I don't feel like I necessarily need to keep this anymore. So this is the Plush palette. I don't think I have reached for it this year, so it can go. I also don't think I have reached for this one this year, which is the Bloomin' Lovely palette. Like, look at that colour story. All of the colours, so bright, so pigmented. I feel like if this was magnetic, I would be more inclined to keep it, but it's not. So it can go. It can go. Then back here we've got, I suppose this could go in the next drawer up because it is smaller. This is the Pastel Roses Crushed Diamonds eyeshadow collection. So these aren't necessarily incredibly shifty. They're nice shimmers, but they're not like the level of shifty that you expect from the Pastel Roses. The mattes are beautiful though. I will put that in the next drawer up because it's a smaller palette, it feels like it fits in there. Then we have got the W7 Sherbet Pop. Nice for a pastel palette, but do I have other pastel palettes that I prefer now? Yes. Oh, do I keep this? I might keep this and see if I use it in spring, because it is more of a spring palette. I did use this in spring, so that's my justification there. I'm keeping these little ones from MUA. I don't think you can get them anymore, but I really enjoy them. So this is Nocturnal, obviously the darkest colour story, and these are magnetic pans. This shade up here called Stella is like a multi-chrome. Really, really pretty. I don't love the packaging, but I will deal with it because I really like the formula. And then this is Neon Lights. Again, this shade, Shapeshifter, is duochrome, and these pans are magnetic, so you can stay. Twisted my arm. We have got the W7 Moonglade eyeshadow palette. Do I love you? Or do I just love that purple on the top row? I think I just love the purple on the top row. But do I have that exact shade in probably like 5 other palettes? Yes, so you can go. I'm keeping these just because they're colour pop and they're like difficult to get your hands on, which is a silly reason, I am aware, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. So this is the Troublemaker palette. You can stay. Then we have got All Amethyst, which is the purples. You can stay as well. Then I do have, yes, this one, Sweet Talk. Again, I was doing like, what was I doing? It wasn't Pan That Palette. Project Level Up, that's what I was doing with this one, trying to hit pan on these shades. I have used this so much this year. Have I got anywhere near to hitting pan? No, but I love these shades. I love these shades on Blue Eyes. So, so pretty. Then we have got the Casper, the Friendly Ghost and Profusion palette. Not my favourite quality, not my favourite colour story, but oh, do I need it though? I was about to say I'll keep it, will I? No, I'm not going to keep it because I don't need to. I won a competition, like I didn't even buy this, I won a competition on Instagram and they sent me this, so I don't need to keep it. She can go. Then what have we got back here? There are a few back here that are like sentimental ones. So we have got the first palette that I ever bought myself, which is the Revolution Redemption palette Iconic 3, which is obviously the dupe for the Urban Decay Naked 3. Then we have got the Revolution and Soph palette, which is completely broken. The first palette that my husband ever bought for me before he was husband. How do I get this? There we go. So keeping that for the mems. And then this is the eyeshadow palette that I used on my wedding day. So I'm keeping this again for the mems, but old, been married. What year is it? Been married 4 years, so haven't used it since my wedding day. But really like it. Keeping it for the memories that will live back there. So I also just picked this one out, which is the Pastel Roses Sakura eyeshadow palette. So all of these are like shimmery, shifty shades, and then you've got the mattes. I like this. I don't necessarily love it. I don't know what it is about it. There's just something that feels a little bit off to me, and I can't quite place what that is. But I do really like those shifty shades down the middle, so I'm going to keep that one. And then, nearly lastly, I nearly said lastly, but it's not quite lastly, the Coral Crush eyeshadow palette from Catrice. See, I look at this and I love it, but do I have all of these shades in other palettes that I love more? Yes, so you can go. And then the MUA Silk Nudes eyeshadow palette. See, I just really don't, I know why they've done this packaging, because it makes the palette recyclable, but I don't like this little flappy bit of plastic that then inevitably digs into the shade at the bottom. I know why they've done it, but I just don't like it. So what do I think of this palette? I'm gonna keep it. I like it enough. I like it enough. So let's put everything back in here in some sort of way that makes sense to my brain. So we have got the MUA palettes, we have got Juvia's, which needs to be on a little bit of an angle because it's too tall for this drawer, but if I do it like that it'll fit. Then we have got Colourpop, Pastel Roses, Revolution and W7. That feels much better to me. I knew that it was this bottom drawer that I was going to be decluttering from more than the one above it, and also the palettes that I have out on my shelves and things. So that is everything. Thank you ever so much for joining me. This was a long one. Congratulations if you have made it to the end. This was a very, very long one, but that is everything. That is my whole eyeshadow palette collection. Like I say, there are going to be more videos coming up where I'm like ranking everything, every palette. I'll be ranking every palette that has launched this year. What else am I going to be doing? Like favourites videos, all of that sort of stuff. So I would love it if you would subscribe, join me for that. I will also be getting into a lipstick declutter, which if I move my leg out of the way, I will just quickly show you. Oh, my legs have gone dead. I will quickly just show you the lipstick drawer so you can see what we're working with, and there's also more lipsticks up on my storage that I'm going to be getting into as well. But that is all of the eyeshadow palettes decluttered. You have seen my full collection now. That is everything. I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.